بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أبوه عبد الله عبد المطلب وهاشم عبد مناف ينتسب. He speaks now, the Imam rahimahullah ta'ala, about the father of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama, who's Abdullah, and the son of Abdul Muttalib, who's the son of Hashim, who's the son of Abd Manaf, who's the son of Qusay, the son of Hakim, the well-known lineage of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama. These are the forefathers of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama, of the only ones that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam engaged sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama. Upon the dominant opinion is his grandfather Abdul Muttalib, who the Prophet ﷺ in the Battle of Hunayn referred to himself as being the son of Abdul Muttalib, clearly seen Abdul Muttalib as one of the most important father figures from all of the forefathers of the Prophet ﷺ, save that his direct father is Abdullah, the son of Abdul Muttalib, okay, the favorite son of the grandfather of the Prophet ﷺ, and the one who was meant to be slaughtered in order to fulfill the oath that Abdul Muttalib, the grandfather of Rasul, otherwise known as Sheikh al-Hamd, gave to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessing him with a great number of sons, those sons being the very uncles of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Ibn the Bihain, and the son of the two who were meant to be slaughtered. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam referring herein to his father, his direct father Abdullah, but likewise also to his forefather Ismail ibn Ibrahim, yani alayhimus salam. And the Prophet ﷺ's father, on the dominant opinion, is going to die whilst the Prophet ﷺ is still inside of the womb of Zuhra, the womb of his mother, Amir bin Wahab, radiallahu ta'ala anha wardaha, although there is an opinion that the father of the Prophet ﷺ was still alive when the Prophet ﷺ was born, that there being a weaker opinion. And so he's Abdullah. And obviously Abdul Muttalib is the grandfather of the Prophet ﷺ, and he is otherwise born as Sheikh al-Hamd. Shayba, the grey-haired one, because he was born with grey hair, and likewise one of praise. And he becomes what's known as the Sheikh al-Batha, the actual was Sheikh, or the chief of the Batha, Batha meaning the inner sanctuary of Mecca al-Mukarramah, and he's considered to be the most lauded man of his day amongst the Quraysh in and of themselves. Many great things happen upon his hands, one of them being the destruction of the Abyssinians, the riders of the elephants, by the tyrant Ababil, by those bears that were dispatched by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in battle array in order to destroy those who harbored ill intent towards the very holy house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And likewise the blessing of the Ummah of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as well as being able to worship and to circumambulate the Kaaba, also to drink from the water from the great well of Jibreel, the well of Ismail, the well of the supreme pilgrim, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, Zamzam, although buried by the tyranny of Jurhum in antiquity, we discovered by the actual grandfather of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, and now we're able, mashallah, to drink from it up till the day in which we find ourselves in it. He is the father, he is the son of Hashim wa Hashimun. Hashim is the great grandfather of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, and his name Amr, okay, Hashim is the one who makes tariq, the one who breaks bread, and so it was a nickname that was given to the actual great grandfather of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam due to his benevolence and his generosity and munificence, in that he fed the entire Mecca al-Mukarramah, with bread broken into meat broth, otherwise known as tharid, as the Prophet ﷺ would later say, Sayyid al-Ta'am al-Tharid, in times of famine, the best of all food is tharid. And the first one to actually make tharid was the great-grandfather of the Prophet ﷺ, Hashim ibn Abd Manaf, mashallah, tabarakallah, lauded. He's the one who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in reference li-ilafi Quraysh, for the mercantile union of Quraysh, the union, who is the one who unifies Quraysh for mercantile purposes, is the great-grandfather of the Prophet ﷺ, Hashim. And he would take the caravans of Quraysh north inside of the summer months, and he would take that, he would appoint his brother Muttalib ibn Abd Manaf to take the caravans south inside of the winter months. And he's going to die in the north inside of the city of Gaza. May Allah Ta'ala protect it, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala liberate it and protect its people and liberate its people. And that's where he's buried, inside of Gaza. Okay, Hashim, the son of Abd Manaf, whereas his brother Muttalib ibn Abd Manaf, he dies south, inside of what is now known as the Yemen, and it was always known as the Yemen, inside of a city called Radman, inside of the Yemen. That's Hashim. And then his father is Abd Manaf, and from Abd Manaf, who's the great-grandfather of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After him comes the clan of Abd Manaf, and the Quraysh were divided into 12 distinct clans, 9 inner, i.e. in Mecca, 3 beyond Mecca, living beyond the actual boundaries of the sanctuary. And from the 9 clans of Quraysh is the clan of the Prophet ﷺ, that is named after his great-grandfather, Abd Manaf, okay? Who is considered to be the Imam, likewise, of the Batha of Mecca, al-Mukarrama, and likewise known as Qamar al-Batha. Known as Qamar al-Batha. Abdul Muttalib and his grandson will be called Sheikh al-Batha, the Sheikh of the inner sanctuary, whereas Abd Manaf will be known as the moon of the Batha. And again, that due to his luminosity and his beauty, and obviously his leadership qualities. Yantasib, this is from the lineage of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Wa ummuhu Aminatun Zuhriya, the mother of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sahbihi wa sallam, is Amina, and is the daughter of Wahab, upon the dominant opinion, although some have it as the daughter of Wahab, although the reality is Wahab and Wahab are brothers, okay, Wahab and Wahab, okay, and this is Amina, and the great Sayyida from the line of Zuhra, the one who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses, and to bear the greatest reality that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, from Banu Zuhra, which is one of the 9 of those inner clans, Zuhra here, the actual Zuhra, being the elder brother of Qusay. When we saw Abd Manaf, the lineage of the Prophet ﷺ, Abd Manaf's father is Qusay. Qusay here, that's the Mujamma'. Qusay the Mujamma', the one who now brings Quraysh into Mecca al-Mukarramah and renders them Jiran Allah, renders them the neighbors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's Qusay. The name Qusay, meaning the one born at a distance. Okay, or raised at a distance, because he's raised at a distance from Mecca al-Mukarramah after his father, who is known as Kilab. Okay, ordinarily in lineage, Kilab, which means, is a nickname. It means dogs, because he was somebody who took care of the dogs of the wild. So he bore the nickname Kilab, although his actual name is Hakim. And so upon the death of Hakim, the mother of Qusay, remarries from outside of Mecca. And so thereby Qusay is raised beyond Mecca. But his elder brother is Zuhra. Okay, Zuhra, and that's where the line of Zuhra comes from, which is the mother of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. And Arda'atu, just the mother and the father of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sahbihi wa sallam, obviously are going to die whilst the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is still in infancy, infancy in the womb in terms of his father, before he's born, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. All positions will place the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's father less than 30 years of age when he passes away, and he's going to pass away in Medina al-Munawwara and buried in Medina al-Munawwara in the house of Nabiha or Tabi'ah, in the different ways that it's actually recited, from Banu Najjar and the houses of Najjar. And then likewise also the mother of the Prophet ﷺ, likewise all positions placed here beneath 30 years of age, some beneath 20 years of age when she passes away, and she passes away returning back when the Prophet ﷺ is 6 years of age from Medina, then known as Yathrib, to Mecca al-Mukarramah. In a dominant opinion, she's buried inside of Abwa, which is between Mecca and Medina al-Munawwara, although there is opinion which is strong, but not as strong, that she's buried in Hajun Mi'la, which is in Mecca in and of itself, the supreme graveyard of Mecca in al-Mukarramah. Arda'athu Halimatu Sa'adiyya, the Prophet ﷺ was nursed by Sayyidina Halima bin Sa'adiyya radiallahu anha wa ardaha, who was from the tribe of Sa'ad bin Bakr. Sa'ad bin Bakr was the tribe that she was from, which is from the actual, or the house that she's from rather, and which is from the clan of Hawazin. Okay, and the clan of Hawazin being from the tribe of Qais bin Aylan. Okay, so she is the primary wet nurse of the Prophet ﷺ, nursing the Prophet ﷺ from 2 weeks old to 2 years of age, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama. Although the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, upon the dominant opinion, also has two other wet nurses, one being his mother, Amir ibn Wahab, and the second being Thuwayba al-Islamiyya, who becomes the freed slave of Abu Lahab, Abdul Uzza ibn Abdul Muttalib, in that she informs Abu Lahab on the birth of the Prophet ﷺ that the Prophet has been born, فَفَرِحْ, and so he became ecstatic and freed her. And in the dominant opinion, upon hearing that news, or those in opinion that he doesn't free her until over 3 decades later, Abu Lahab, okay? And that there becomes the happiness that he bore ala kulli hal upon the birth of the Prophet ﷺ, that becomes a means for relief of punishment inside the hadith in Sahih Bukhari for Abu Lahab each and every single Monday. Mawlidu, and there's other riwayas that the Prophet ﷺ had up to 10 wet nurses, up to 10 different women, and he breastfed the Prophet ﷺ, but those 3 are without any dispute. Mawliduhu bi Makkah al-Amina wa fatu bi Tayyibat al-Madina, that the Prophet ﷺ, he was born in Mecca. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whoever enters it is safe, is safe. And so Mecca is a secure land, the land that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has secured, that will exist to the very end of time. Mecca al-Mukarramah. Remember, there's a time in its history where Mecca was not spoken of, and Mecca had been buried beneath the earth. Remember, Mecca rediscovered by Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. But now, by virtue of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, primarily that the land is secured, although others believe that the actual land is secured by Ibrahim alayhi salam in the Idiyah, in the great praise of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, but it's secured until the end of time. And whoever enters into Mecca al-Mukarramah, likewise secured. At the end of time, it's one of those secured lands that the Antichrist cannot enter into. وَفَاتُوا بِطَيْبَةِ الْمَدِينَةِ. But however, the Prophet ﷺ, he passes away inside of Tayyibah. And Tayyibah is the official name of the actual city in and of itself, the great city of the Prophet ﷺ, as we see in the hadith in Isra al-Mi'raj, when the Rasul lands at the great city, and the Prophet asked Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam, where are we? And Sayyidina Jibreel, he says, this is Tayyibah, this is Tayyibah. And likewise the hadith of Sayyidina Tamim al-Dari, when the Prophet stands upon the mimbar, the Prophet ﷺ, and he stamps upon the mimbar, this is Tayyibah, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, Tayyibat al-Madinah. And that is the soil of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Although the Imams rahimahullah ta'ala of Sirah, they make mention that the actual soil of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the physical composite of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is actually from Jawf al-Kaaba. It's from the very midst of the Kaaba, save in the Tawfan, in the flood of the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, Allah ta'ala uproots the earth from the actual midst of the Kaaba and sends it to what is called now Medina to Munawwara, and then it's from that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is created, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, atamma qabla al-wahi arba'ina, that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his first life is 40 years, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So prior to being revealed unto sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he completed 40 years. And the Imams, rahimahullah ta'ala, can differ as, is it 40 years exactly, or is it 40 years approximately? With the dominant opinion being 40 years approximately, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, either he's 40 and a half years when he's revealed unto externally, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, by the Archangel Jibreel alayhi salam, although others, like for instance Imam Bahraq rahimahullah ta'ala, are of the opinion that he's revealed unto upon his 40th birthday, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that day, like the hadith in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim of Sayyidina Anas rahimahullah ta'ala, ba'athahu Allahu ala ra'si arba'ina sana, that Allah ta'ala ba'athahu, and he revealed the Prophet sallallahu ala ra'si arba'ina sana, upon his 40th birthday, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, wa umruhu qad jawaza sittina. And when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam passed away, then his age was beyond 60 years of age. Opinions the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was 60, like we see the hadith in Anas, if it's taken literally, that it wafal Allahu ala ra'si sittina sana, that Allah ta'ala took him unto him when he was 60 years of age, hadith in Bukhari and Muslim. Otherwise, there are opinions that the Prophet was 65 years of age. The strongest opinion is that the Prophet ﷺ was 63 years of age, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, of the Imams, rahimahullah ta'ala, to the day. He was 63 years of age to the day. We ask Allah ta'ala for tawfiq, and ifida'an abi wa ummi, wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.